This is part 4 of Danny Rolling's Serial Killer, brought to you by True Crime Real Criminals. I'm your host from the East Coast, as you know. So, Danny murdered these two women. But what he did was he went in the house, he went into the apartment, he found Miss Powell sleeping on the couch, and not sure who else was in the apartment, he quietly crept upstairs without waking her up. And that's where he found Sonia Larson, taped her mouth shut, and then butchered her. Then went back downstairs after he knew they were the only two in the apartment and did the same thing to Miss Christina Powell. That's when he committed those two murders for those two women in that apartment complex. You know, and he was vicious, very vicious about what he did. And he didn't just murder them, you know, he did unspeakable things to these two women. These are parrots you hear in the background. These are wild parrots here in this park, T.Y. Park. But in any case, he left there. And he stole his little items he needed, and he left. After he took a shower, cleaned up, he took off. He left. Now, everybody was on their toes, you know, with these two murders. So everybody's alerted. You know, the off-campus students started hanging out in pairs and groups. They started staying together. Some even relocated. You know, they just didn't want to be around the area. Who could blame them? Because it was unsolved murders. They didn't know who did it, you know. And then Danny Rowland didn't stop there, you know. He did not stop there. He came back. He came back over the course of a couple days, and he did it again. And this time, there was multiple people, and one of them was a guy. And the guy put up a struggle. Now, Danny was a pretty big guy. I mean, he was like 6'2", 200 pounds, maybe 220, you know. But he was a big guy. He was no small fry. He was a big bitch, is what he was. You know, his heart was soft. Oh yeah, the guy put up a fight, and just wasn't good enough, unfortunately for them. But Danny came back, and he killed 3 more students. And this time, when he killed them, he decapitated one, put her head on a shelf. He did some atrocious things to the other bodies. You can go look it up. I'm not going to discuss that. But he set mirrors up so when the bodies were discovered, it would give an effect of, you know, the dead people looking at the people who are going to find them. The guy was, you want to say he was mentally ill, sick in his head and all that. Nah, he just, he let himself go. Sick? Nah, you can't say he's sick. You can cure sickness. You can't cure that shit he had, or some of these other scumbags have. Can't cure that shit, so it's not a sickness. You can cure sickness. There's a remedy for that. His remedy, he got. And he got it because he asked for it. And I'm going to tell you about that coming up.